Hey, I'm gonna pick one more card. Maybe I'll try to pick some more cards later in the day, but I still got 31 cards to review, and I can't believe I got that many more. It seems like a never-ending thing, and I want to keep going. I just really would like to get it done before I leave Denver. So I'm gonna pick one more card to review for the day, and then maybe right now I'm at this park, but when I go back downtown to charge up my phone, maybe I'll try to do a few more reviews. I don't want to rush it, but I want to get it done. And I'm having troubles keeping up with the days, but I know we're like in the 20, like maybe 21. Okay, Justice. So Justice shows a woman sitting at a throne with a sword in the air, and she has a scale in her hand over here, and there's a veil behind her, and it's like yellow coming through. So justice, I believe it speaks about just needing justice, needing like the sword, meaning like a swift process. Maybe you feel like you're being judged, or maybe you're judging another, but could have something to do with legal matters. And I think if you pull the card upright, that it's in your favor, that the outcome is in your favor. So like, I guess you'll win, or you'll receive like your just due. Like if you're being treated unfairly, like you'll get what's deserved to you, like what goes, in the scheme of whatever's going on. So I'm gonna look up more meanings. All right. Okay, so the justice is kind of like the high priestess, where she sits between two pillars, but it's both the pillars are the same, and it speaks about like how justice, it keeps things fairly, and the scales as well. The scales are balanced because it's about being fair. I was also thinking about like being able to see things from a perspective where you don't take a side, and you can like judge things fairly. Because I think sometimes, based on all the things a part of a situation, we might jump to a particular side, and some people have the ability, like a judge, to like step back and just hear both sides out and judge it based on facts and or just being understanding to maybe like, why did the person do something. Another thing, it may, like learning about it made me think about the movie The Cell with Jennifer Lopez, and there's this killer, and then he has like this seizure where he goes into a state. Meanwhile, he's captured like a victim, and they're in danger of a process that he does with his victims, and Jennifer Lopez has to go inside his mind and figure out where this victim is located based on information inside his head. Now, when she goes in there, I guess she goes in already having an idea of like, or a fixed idea of like, he's a murderer. But then she goes in and he like comes to her as his child, like as his inner child. And then she learns that his inner child was abused, and a lot of the things that he does to his victim as an adult were based on things that he had experienced as a child, and then mixed in with the abuse as a child, I suppose there was love. I don't really know what goes on inside murderer's head, like inside a murderer's head, but in the movie, you kind of like sympathize with him, like you try to, I don't know, maybe that's not the right, but you kind of, I don't know, you kind of feel bad for him, and it also like he wants to die because if he at the end like he wanted to die because if he didn't die he probably would have. I don't know. He had to die because his adult self, the part of himself that had became really sick. No matter how bad he felt or how he knew it was wrong, I guess he reached a point of like he couldn't stop it. So, but yeah, like this card even reminds me of the end when Jennifer Lopez, like, she holds him and then she eventually kills him. But he's like at the form of like this trickster king, and it's like who he's like made himself to be in his imaginary world, and it's like, but he's also like, I don't know. So it kind of made me think about that, just like being able to see things from both sides. Not that he wasn't guilty of what he was doing, but it was like to see like he was a victim as well. But maybe that was a bad analogy, but it reminded me of that movie. Also, I think like I tried to, like, I remember it was recently I had a conversation. I won't go too in depth about the conversation, but I wasn't on the side of the person that like I was arguing with or having a discussion with. Yeah, it was more of a discussion. It wasn't an argument. But the way they explained it, like, I could see where they were coming from, but I still didn't think they were right. But I could see where they were coming from, but it was like, and then I just like let it in because I didn't feel like it was anything I needed to convince them about, that their view was wrong, but I could see where they were coming from to an extent. But yeah, there's a lot of situations like that where or some people can just be like, well, not take a side and just kind of hear people out, or like understand where people are coming from, even though they might feel like the person is in the wrong, like a judge. So I'm gonna look up more stuff. Hope those were good analogies. Maybe they weren't, but I think I understand the card. And she's like really stone faced, like if you can see her face. Let me see. But she's really serious, and I think that comes from like justice is what it is. It's not justice when it's used correctly. It will take the side of the just, like, so it wouldn't. And I think that's where the seriousness is. It's like, and then her knife is like able to cut away, or her sword is able to cut away all the fluff and all the illusions and stuff, and and see things for what it truly is. And just having that ability, whatever the situation may be that you would be in when you pull the card, I guess you would have to think about like whatever you're going through, and just try to pull the facts together. All right, I'm gonna just look up some more stuff. Okay, so yeah, just being fair and just, and could mean in a legal matter. Then reverse is the opposite, not being fair. Oh, and it's also connected to Libra. So Libra with the scales. But then reverse, not being fair, maybe being one-sided, not looking at the facts, making a judgment, and not paying attention to like what the facts are in the situation, being one-sided. Just the opposite of being just. So yeah, just not being just. I hope that helps. Okay, I think I understand it. All right, have a good one.